Hey there. One thing that is new in Unreal 5.1 is the use of proxy controls inside Control Rig. Proxy controls can be a little bit difficult to understand because this is quite unique to Control Rig. But here it works. Proxy controls are controls that allow you to drive other controls of your rig. They are not visible directly inside your sequencer because they don't receive keys. But they can drive other controls, allowing you to do to control your rig in different ways at the same times. So here, the best way is just to show you what it is. Here I have this little green sphere that is driving my metacouple controls. And you can see that if I rotate that sphere, my metacouple controls are being spread out in a nice way. This is actually driving the transform of each of those controls. So here, if I show you, those are getting new values as I rotate my proxy controls. And you can see that it's creating those keys on the metacouple, and the proxy control itself doesn't get any key. It's just here to help moving other controls of the rig. So how do we do that? The graph itself, here I have the part where I build a proxy control, and this is the logic of the proxy rig that I created. So let's get to it. I'm starting from the rig I created in the previous tutorial, so if you're not quite sure what I did here, just take a look at that previous tutorial. Hopefully it's simple enough. So the first thing we're going to do is create the proxy control. So I like to use sequence node just to separate my graph into different parts. So I keep it clean. So here I'm going to create my spawn control. We're going to call it meta. Is going to be a transform, and we're gonna position it where the pinky meta is. So I'm gonna grab that transform and make that my initial transform. Okay. I'm gonna make the shape a little different. I'm going to make it, I like just to set it as a sphere. I'm going to make it green. I like to use green for my meta. For my proxy controls, that is just me. Uh, and I'm gonna scale it down a little bit. And I think I need to move it as well. Let's see. Okay, looks pretty good. So right now I'm already going to say that it's a proxy control, so it doesn't get keyed, and I need to pass the list of controls that are going to be driven so that the auto key works as expected. So I'm just going to create an array with all my controls, and I'm going to plug that here. For the shape visibility, I'm going to say that it's user defined so that the proxy control is always visible because I'm not going to set any special rules for that. Based on selections, makes the proxy controls only visible when you select one of the driven control, I believe. Okay, so I have my proxy control. It looks like just like any other regular control. Oh, let me make it a child of the hand as well, so that it move with the hand. And I need to make that local space. There you go. Cool. Okay, so it's just look like a regular control. It's gets transform and it's moving as like just like any other control. So now all the magic is in the forward solve. The first thing I'm going to do again is a sequence to keep things clean, so that you can see that this is the evaluating my controls for my fingers, and here is going to be the logic of the proxy control that's going to happen before any of that logic, because my proxy control is going to influence the position of those other controls. So I want to do that before any of them outputs their position to the bones. So here I'm going to create a branch, and that's where the magic is starting. We have this node that is called get, no, not this one, get interaction. That is going to return true when the rig is being interacted with, and it's also returning the list of items that is being interacted with. So here I could check if we are interacting with my meta control, and I'm going to do a reroute because I'm going to use that meta control in multiple places. So my meta control here. So basically, when I'm interacting with the rig and the object I'm interacting with, the meta control, I'm going to execute this part of the graph. So just to show you what it does, I'm going to do a little print, make it a name, and just print meta interacting. Interacting. Okay, compile, and you should see now that when I'm interacting with my meta, so when I'm only manipulating my control, I have this little log showing up here. Print node is awesome, by the way. If you're not using it for debugging, please do. But if I interact with any other control, I'm not getting that log. It's only when I'm interacting with my meta. So great. So what should I do here? Well, I'm going to get the transform of my meta, because I'm going to use that to drive the other controls. But I want to get the difference of transform from the last time the meta was touched. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some metadata for that control. So set metadata. I'm going to call that previous value. And I'm going to make that transform. And here I'm going to store the previous value of my the previous position of my meta control at each frame. So now I have access to that previous value. Get metadata, get the previous value. We know it's transform, and I want to get the delta between both. So I can use the make relative. The previous is the parent space and the current is the global space. So this now returns me the delta of transformation from the last time the rig was evaluated. And I'm going to use that to drive my other controls. So those controls that I've defined as being driven, I'm going to loop over them for each. Actually, are they in the correct order? Yeah, I guess it's going to be okay. I'm going to loop over them, and for each of them, I'm going to set their transform. Set transform. Actually, I'm going to offset that transform. So I'm going to take the current transform and just add to it. Going to set the transform. And one thing that I need to do is not forget to update my previous value. So set metadata again, the previous value, and make sure that I pass. I think I was passing that in local space. Yes, that's a local space that I want to do. And save that here. So once I'm done updating the other controls, I want to set the previous value of my meta control. Yes. So now what you can see is that just by driving my meta control, I drive all my meta carpal all at once. I would like them to spread out so that it's influencing more the pinky and less the index. And the way I do that is I use the interpolate. So the pinky is first. So I'm going to use the ratio. And am I doing that in the correct order? Yes, looks like it. So now I'm driving the pinky more and the index less. So nice way to kind of create an auto spread for the meta couple of your control. And again, this is affecting the value of those controls and not an extra buffer null or anything like that. So when you animate this way, you have curves that still make sense, and you can decide to change any value at any point, and your curves are kind of relevant to the position of the control itself. That's it for now. That's how you use. That's an example of using proxy. There's a ton of crazy stuff you could do with it. You have to experiment different things. I'm sure you're gonna come up with new ideas that I didn't think about. But it's something quite powerful in Control Rig 5.1. Thank you.